It's your girl, Ariza, licensed clinical social worker, test prep guru, your personal hype squad, whatever you need me to be to help you level up and pass this exam. So today I got a banger for you. But before we jump into that, just remember this is a channel where you're going to get the tools, the strategy, and the confidence you need so you can level up and pass the exam. And over here, guys, just in case you didn't know, it's a vibe. It's a whole vibe. Yes, baby. We over here winning and doing the damn thing. Yes, that is what we do over here in this. We get licensed. That is what this channel is about. It's all about getting you licensed and helping you level up and get to exactly where you need to be so you can go ahead and start making them coins, getting those promotions, doing all the things that you dreamed about when you were spending thousands and thousands and thousands of dollars towards getting your master's. Yes, some of you have spent a boatload of money. And then when it comes to your test prep, you're like, oh my God, I've spent so much. Think about the thousands that you spent to get to your master's degree and where it's landed you. So just think about if you invest a few more $100s into a program that's guaranteed to help you level up and get success, that's gonna then create you thousands of dollars on a return. Yes, you invest in a program. Let's just say, hypothetically speaking, you spend $500 on your test prep process, which to most people might be like, that's a lot of money. It might be because of where you are. You haven't leveled up yet. But once you get this license, $500 should be the minimum, the least of your concern. And I'm talking about that should just be a bonus. That should just be the job saying, let me give you a little bit of something because you elevated and you leveled up. Now, if your job is not doing that and you're not getting an increase after getting this license and you're not making a few more duckies and dollars, you are at the wrong place and you need to go to my channel, Coaching the Elite. Yes, that's my business channel, my strategy channel, the channel I had before I even had this channel. That's going to really give you the sauce and the tools that you need to just do something real simplistic that's going to help bring you back some of that money for real. That's what it's about, because I believe investing gets the blessing. That is how I live in my model. I have invested a lot into myself, and as a result, I've been truly blessed. I must say that. But it didn't just come overnight. It came with me pouring in to myself by utilizing things that were going to help me get there, by investing in people, investing in programs, investing in things that have been shown to work with the social proof, that have given me the tools that I'm like, ooh, baby, that's spicy. They did what? They did that. If they did that, I know what I got up here and what I can do. And that's just how it works. So just think about it. For all you that's sitting at home right now watching this video and you're taking your little notes on your note card, or for all of you who are sitting at home doing all these test prep books and working with the Mrs. D or the Dr. D or whoever, you know what I'm talking about, all those people, and you're like, oh my God, it's so hard, it's so complex. I've been reading the book back and forth and I just don't get it, because it's not meant for you to get. The book was not created for you, but my program was. It was created for somebody that looks like you, acts like you, thinks like you. And that's the big difference. You need to invest in something that's going to help you level up and get to where you need to be. All right, guys, real quick. I'm always talking about the community, the LCSW vibes. We leveling up. And this is the sneak peek of the community. As you can see, it's on and popping. We got a lot happening. I got ethics over here, human development, or study guides that you guys asked me about on the YouTube channels, all right there. Test questions. You just want to level up and learn and see if you can answer those questions. I'm testing your knowledge. Let me go back to the home screen. If you want to learn more about what services I offer and what other things are there, that is where you go to the learning tabs. We leveling up, so why don't you join so you can level up too. So yes, this isn't an infomercial, isn't a commercial. It might be, whatever, about my programs and my services, because I know it works. And what I did is I actually had a lot of beta programs. For those who don't know, I had people who tested out and tried it out. So I got tons of review, tons of social proof showing you I work specifically with those that have taken this test multiple times. You invest in 2 tests, that would have got you the program that I'm working with you all the way to the end. That's pretty much what it is. Some of you have tested 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20 times. Yes, I've heard it all. So if you're tired of doing that and you just want to say, you know what, hell, I'm just not going to be going on that vacation. I'm just going to cancel Netflix for the next 3 years. Whatever you need to do, you need to do it so you can pass the exam. Because you guys hit me up in my comment section telling me about what you did and how you're using this and it's not working. I don't want to hear it. I want you to come to me because I'm telling you what's going to work. You believe in yourself and do it so it can work. That's just the bottom line. So for those of you who meet with me and I seem a little spicy or a little like, ooh, what is she saying? Why is she like that? I'm just being real with you guys. I need you to understand that you're taking time, you're taking energy away from yourself when you're trying to make something work that doesn't. If I had a round peg and I kept sticking a square, I don't have a square, so I'm using my hand, it don't fit. It doesn't fit. But if I had something round and I put something else round right through it, look at that. It goes right through because it was meant to work. It was designed for it. That is what you need to think about when it comes to your test prep process. Use something that's worked and that it was designed for you. Yes, I have somebody in my program that's almost 70 years old and they get better scores than anyone in the program. They've did my course twice and they're just waiting to test. And it's guaranteed they're going to pass. It's no ifs and buts about it. So I don't want to hear age as a number. I got so many people 50 plus club, 55, 65, passing this exam is unbelievable. Guaranteed it can happen for you. You just got to believe and trust yourself. All right. That was 5 minutes and 10 seconds for those that like to do the timestamp that I'm getting ready to jump up into the content. All right. And today's video is something that's been widely requested. It's community versus clinical questions. And I don't want you guys getting tricked up on it. Yes, community questions, clinical questions, totally different ballgame. But sometimes we're using the same system, the same thought process. So let's jump into it and see. One of the sneakiest ways the exam stumps people is by mixing up those community level questions with the clinical level questions. So a lot of people are just missing points here because you don't realize the exam is just shifting the client. So whenever you take the test, you always need to think about who is the client and what is my role? Who am I and what client am I working with? So when people are doing that, they're looking at, am I working with a client or am I working with a community? Yes, the community is your client. Don't get it confused. All right. So you got to understand how to look at the question and understand what it's asking or who you're working with. So let's just do something real quick. Say you get a question like this. A social worker's asked to develop a new program after a rise in opioid overdoses in a community. What should the social worker do first? So yeah, it looks clinical. You're talking about this opioid epidemic, and we're trying to figure out what to do, but it's a macro level question. So by the end of this video, you'll always know whether to pick a therapy intervention or policy or advocacy move. All right? It's plain and simple. I'm going to teach you how to spot the difference, how to actually know what it is so you can level up. All right? Hey guys, let's stop by to tell you this. You do not have to win alone. Absolutely not. People in the community are winning each and every day. The proof is in the pudding. Go in the community. It's free. We're throwing down test questions, case studies, the FNBM method, all the details and everything you need so you can succeed. Click the link in the bio and join. You don't need to do this alone. See you soon. So let's talk about clinical and micro focus. A client, a family, a small group, we're thinking micro level, all right? We're thinking direct practice, we're thinking assessment, we're thinking treatment, we're thinking counseling. We're looking at those keywords like client, symptoms, family, individual, therapy, intervention. That is looking at something on the micro level. Now let's focus on community and macro focus. What words are we looking at? We're looking at systems. We're looking at agencies. We're looking at policy. We're looking at neighborhoods. We're advocating. We're organizing. We're funding. We're evaluating. Some of the keywords here are agency, program, policy, funding, community, outreach. Those are the words that allow you to click your brain to realize what type of question you're asking. So here's a trick to remember. If the client is not a person, but it's an institution or a group or it's a policy, something along those lines, you're thinking macro level. All right. So let me give you a quick example right here, just to make sure it all makes sense. So you got a 35-year-old client. They report symptoms of, say, depression. They just went through a recent divorce. What should the social worker do first? Typically, you're going to conduct a thorough psychosocial assessment. Why? Because the client's an individual and there's micro steps. There are things that we do first and that apply to individual. Now let's go another question. Let's do a macro style one. So an agency faces budget cuts that may reduce available resources. What is the best action for the social worker? Budget cuts. All right. A correct answer would likely align with advocating, maybe advocating for funding or either collaborating with community stakeholders, something along those lines. Why? The client here is the agency, the community system, not the single individual. That's the difference there. So let's move on to another example. A school disproportionately penalizes a student with IEPs. What is the next step for the social worker? Think about it. The correct answer would be advocate for school administrators for policy change. Why? It's a systemic discrimination. It's not a therapy issue. And I love doing questions like this. When I'm working with you, I'm like, look, you know the answers are A, B, C, and D, but just tell me what you think the answer could be before you even look at the answer options. You have enough knowledge up here to apply what you know to see if you can answer it. Are you studying for the LCSW or LMSW exam? Don't waste time on the wrong prep. Try my test prep program for free with a full module that gives you the real strategies, the real practice, and real results. Plus, you get access to my exclusive test prep community where you'll find support, study material, and accountability. No risk, no stress, just results. Click the link in the bio so you can get ready to win with the winning team. Let me just do one more example just to make sure you're rolling with your girl. A parent expresses concern that their child's ADHD accommodations aren't being honored at school. What is the social worker's duty first? Or what should the social worker do first? Just think about it. Typically, in this case, the social worker should meet with the parent and the school staff to kind of get some clarity, figure out what's going on. Why is it not being honored? What is happening? Get more of the meat before we jump in and do any type of intervention. All right? Now, although it involves a school, which could be a macro level, the client is the child, the family. So that's micro level. That is how you can see two of those style questions getting in there and kind of tripping you up. All right, so here goes some common traps and some things to avoid. Thinking every school or agency question is a macro. Nada. Not always. It depends on who the client is. In that situation, we're talking about a school situation, but it was an individual. Another trick, or trap, should I say, is choosing therapy interventions for systemic problems. So it's a systemic issue, but we're focusing on an individual issue. That is a huge trap. Another trap is skipping advocacy just because you're more comfortable with the micro level solution or micro level goal or micro level intervention or micro level outcome. That doesn't mean just because you feel comfortable and it makes sense to you and your brain because that's what you did with your client. Look at it from the big picture. It's a macro level. Look at the totality. It's systematic. So it's a certain way we need to handle these questions and we need to adjust. So here's a strategy. Always ask yourself, who is the client here? Is it a person or is it a system? If it's a person or family, then we're going micro level. We're going micro up in there. But if it's an agency, a community, or policy, we're going macro up in there. See? We're going micro, macro, micro, macro. Do that in your house. Just get your body moving. You know, sometimes we're a little too stiff. We're learning this stuff and it's just like, oh my God, I got to know it. Yes, you got to know it, but we got to have fun with it. That is why this is what, guys? Yeah, you guys said it in the comment section before. Edutainment. Yeah. So if you're stuck, make sure you reread the stem. The client is always hidden up in the plain sight of the question. The client is always right there. Sometimes we just miss it because we see all the meat and we're like, ooh, and we just jump automatically to what we think is going to be. But sit back and do it and go from there. So think about it. Here goes some, I'm not going to give you no full questions as I do, because again, like I told you, if you want the full questions in the sauce, then you know what you need to do. I ain't even got to tell you. I ain't going to say it no more. Number one, a neighborhood sees spike in youth violence. What would be a best style question? We're looking at something macro level. We're looking at something community programming. We're looking at something advocacy. That's the way our brain should be moving. Number two, a client in therapy discloses having panic attacks. What do we do first? We're looking at something micro level. We're assessing. We're looking for safety. We might be intervening. We might be using some type of evidence-based training. But either way, we know which way we're going. Another one, an agency receives grants to serve immigrant families. What's most important? It's a macro level, guys. Yes. So we need to assess before we launch the program. We need to get the data, the meat, the sauce before we jump in and start making a dish. All right. So it is important, guys, to look at a question not only because it's looks good, because even though it looks good, it can be really wrong. But make sure why we're actually applying it and why we're actually doing what we say we're doing. So micro equals person, family, direct style treatment. That is micro. Remember I did a little, I had my hands close for micro, in case you guys wasn't getting it. And then macro, we're looking at systems, agency, policies, community. Macro. That's what I did for the macro one. So I know it looks silly, but yeah. Hopefully your kid or your spouse or somebody doesn't bust in there like, what the hell are you watching? She's microing and macroing. But hopefully you get it. Tell them that's what helped you level up and pass the exam. My foolishness, my shenanigans. So hopefully this cleared it up. Hopefully you understood it. Hopefully you have a better idea what's micro versus macro. You can put it in the comment section. We can get you locked in. And if you're ready to go deep with live practice, drills like this, at the bare minimum, join our weekly coaching sessions. Yes, it's like the cost of a night out. You just join the weekly sessions. It's a subscription base. You can cancel it, use it for three, 4 sessions. Say you get ready to test in 30 days, do it for 1 month, then boom, bam, you out of there. All right. Every week for 1 hour. Check your girl out. We helping you level up, pass the exam. Make sure you like, subscribe, tell your friend. Over here, what we're trying to do, win, baby. Love you. See you next time.